Morning, everybody. How's everybody today? Good. My name is Bob Kalinowski, and I'm here to talk to you a little today about personal safety and how to try to stay safe, and most importantly, try to avoid getting into any bad situations. What is personal safety? Really, what is personal safety? Anybody have an idea?
Way to protect yourself.
Way to protect yourself. I don't want to oversimplify things, but I think personal safety, a lot of it is paying attention to your surroundings, being aware of what's going on. We all have busy schedules. Everybody's going to agree to that, right? We all have busy schedules. You get into what is called tunnel vision. I think tunnel vision is dangerous, not only for police officers, but for people. I'm not here to try to make everybody panic all the time when they're walking down the street. Hope you're not thinking that. Just trying to create an awareness, and maybe you can start thinking when you're walking from your house to the mailbox or to get the newspaper, or when you're walking from the grocery store to the parking lot. You have a lot of groceries, you're going to the car. Just start thinking. You don't have to look around. I don't want you to look scared. I don't want you to look panicked, but just pay attention. Is there somebody sitting in that car next to you? Make eye contact. You're going out in the front lawn, or is there somebody that's driving back and forth slow while you're out taking a walk? What's this strange car? It's slowing down. He's been by 3 or 4 times. Little things like that. Start paying attention. Communicate with your other loved ones, family members, maybe where you're going, how long you're going to be gone. We'll talk a little about traveling safety in your car. Full tank of gas, or at least a half a tank. Down here in Florida, you don't have to worry too much about snowstorms, cold weather. If your car breaks down, it needs a jump start. What are you going to do? You have cell phones? Maybe call somebody. Maybe have one of those signs in your car that you can put in the back window. Please call help. Wait in your car. Keep your flashers on. Wait in your car. Maybe it's a flat tire. What are you going to do? Well, wait in your car for help. Or if you're not in a safe place, drive on the rim. Ruin the tire. My daughter, I haven't even taught her how to change a flat tire. I don't want her out on the road changing a flat tire. She can either wait in the car if she's got cell phone service until me or somebody she knows can come help her, or a police officer comes along. Somebody comes along, a stranger, asking if they can help you. Maybe crack the window a little. Maybe crack the window, unless you know for sure who it is, or if it's a uniformed police officer. Wait for help. Don't go out on the road because it's dangerous. What I just mentioned a few minutes ago, tunnel vision. Okay, unless you have a lot of practice changing a tire or working on your car, what are you going to be worrying about and thinking about? Getting your tire changed, getting your car jump started, traffic's going by, you have some stranger out there, some stranger can come along. You don't want that. Wait in your car, or if you can, drive to a safe spot. When you get in your car or you go to your car, what should you do?
Lock the door.
Okay. You have your vehicle locked, but before you get in it, what should you do? Check the back, right? And even underneath. Another thing that I just watched on video the other day, carjackings are not uncommon. They're happening everywhere. This was caught on video. A guy hiding in the bushes. Lady gets out of her car. He hurries to the car, ties a string, 3 or 4 empty cans to the car. Okay? He goes back in the bushes. A little while later, because of the surveillance camera, she comes out, gets in her car, starts pulling away. Well, what do you think happening? There's noise by those cans. What's anybody going to do? She opens the car. Her car is still running. Shows him running to the car. He's driving away and she's looking. So how could that have been avoided? Another thing about traveling, and I see it all the time, people are generally good-natured. We all want to trust people, but you know what? We almost have to have the sense where, I don't want this to sound wrong, but you can't trust strangers. So when you're traveling, say you go by an accident scene, Maybe it just happened. What are you going to do? Well, my suggestion is get on the phone, call for help. It's going to be difficult to drive by an accident scene where you think you might be able to help, but really, believe me, in most cases, especially if you have a cell phone, drive to a safer area, call it in right away, tell them what happened, give them your name. How about when we're at these malls or grocery stores or anything like that? Some of the things that we can think about, let's use a mall. Everybody shops at malls, I'm assuming. Yeah, see some smiles on your faces. We love malls. Well, some people do. Where are you going to park at the mall? If you can, if you get there early enough, or even if you don't, park as close to the lights as you can. Park as close to the stores that you can. That might be difficult. You might not have any choice, and you might get stuck in the back part of the parking lot, and you might get stuck away from the lights. Okay, some things to think about. Eye contact when you're walking from your car. Again, look around you. What kind of cars are around you? Is there somebody sitting in a car? If there is, maybe it's harmless. Maybe it's innocent. Maybe it's some guy waiting for his wife because he might be like me and a lot of other guys. You don't want to go shopping. You're going to sit in the car and wait. But really, pay attention to what's going on. Why is that guy sitting there? What kind of car is he in? What color is his license plate? What color is his car? Little simple things. How long does that really take you to make eye contact and get a quick mental note of the vehicle? So now you're going to go in and do your shopping. You're going to load up with your bags and then make one trip to the car just loaded with all these bags? Or are you going to try to be a little safer and maybe take a couple trips out to your car? Maybe use a cart. Early on, when I was teaching new recruits and other members of the Vermont State Police about taking care of themselves, I had the opportunity to watch a bunch of videos from inmates at prison. And for some reason, a few of them wanted to cooperate and talk to the police. Why did you choose this lady? Why did you choose this guy? Simple. They looked like they were scared. They looked like they were a potential victim. They were coming from the store with their arms loaded, their fancy high heels, looking down. They weren't looking around. Little simple things. So, an alternative. Make a trip to your car with just a couple bags. On your way to the car, what can you be doing? You can have your keys with your key fob in your hand. You can have a can of pepper spray in your hand. Or another option, I like the pepper spray and I like this other option. Everybody at home has got a set of keys, an old set of keys, useless keys on a key ring. You have no idea what the keys are for. So you're walking to the car and you're paying attention now. You're looking around you. You're looking at other vehicles, who's in the vehicles, what kind of vehicles they are. Say somebody confronts you and you really think that you're going to get into a confrontation. They're walking quick. You're feeling scared. You really don't have a safe exit. You have bags in one hand. What's the matter with taking that old set of key rings and throwing it to somebody and then making a safe exit back to the store or someplace to help you stay safe? You can always go in if you feel uncomfortable because you've been paying attention and being aware. You can go in and tell a security guard, listen, I don't feel comfortable. Can somebody walk me back out to the vehicle? Call your husband, call your girlfriend, call somebody else to come pick you up. If you don't feel comfortable, don't put yourself in that situation. It's that simple, okay? Don't do that. Another thing, you go to your car, everything's fine, nothing's around, you're paying attention, you walk to your car, put your stuff in. Something else to think about, because you've been being aware and safe, you brought one trip. How about moving your car to a different spot? Because maybe somewhere in that parking lot, some person is sitting in a car looking around. Okay, you're getting in your car, you're moving to another spot in the parking lot. Maybe there's a spot closer to the store. Maybe there's a spot closer to another light where you can get closer. So think about those things. Some of the same things apply if you're out walking, you're jogging, exercising alone. You have to be paying attention. These people that are running, walking, they have their iPods, earphones. They're walking, they're running, not paying attention. They're not paying attention going by hedges or bushes. They're not paying attention going by dark driveways. They're not paying attention when maybe that car is going back and forth. So you're walking, jogging, try to get a partner. Dog's a good partner if you have a dog that can keep up with you or is willing to. Pay attention to your surroundings. Try not to set patterns. It's pretty easy to figure out. You're sitting there shaking your head. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, I go at this time every day and I'm going around the same loop maybe every day at the same time. How hard is it for somebody to figure out that pattern? Pretty simple. So pay attention. You're starting to see that the common denominator of all this is paying attention. I've had people ask me about guns in their home. Well, you know what? I'm not going to condone guns in the house unless you're properly trained. And by properly trained, I'm talking about with a professional that can go to a range and spend hours and hours and hours. Again, pepper spray is pretty good to have around in a couple different places. I've got pepper spray scattered throughout my house in strategic places. My wife knows how to use it. My son knows how to use it. My daughter knows how to use it. I know how to use it. So more on home safety. If you have the luxury and you get to go away for a few days or take a week, two, to go on vacation, some important things to remember. Maybe somebody that you know and trust can pick up your mail. Maybe you can even get them to mow your lawn. You want to try to make your house look lived in, okay? You don't want to go away and think, okay, just forget about the house. Your grass is going to grow, the mailbox might get overstuffed. Have somebody do that for you if you can. It's a nuisance, but have the post office stop your mail if it's going to be a week. You don't want people to know. You don't want to make it so obvious that you're not home. And motion detector lights on timers are a good idea, but remember, patterns. How difficult would it be for some person riding, scoping the neighborhood, 7 o'clock. Yep, that living room light's gonna go on. 7 o'clock every night. Wonder what that means. So my point is, if you're gonna do the automatic lights, which I think is a great idea, have a couple lights in different rooms going off at different times, going on and off, because it's easy to figure out patterns. Alarms, people want to talk about alarms. You have an audible alarm. Somebody goes in and the alarm goes off, they're not going to stick around. That's loud. I've been in a building and had those go off. It is nerve-wracking. Nobody's going to want to stay there with that alarm going off because they don't want to draw attention to themselves. There are a number of wireless alarms on the market these days that are fairly inexpensive and they work. To wrap up, you have to pay attention and be aware. Be prepared. And being prepared is maybe a safe escape route or an exit, because getting out of any potentially dangerous situation is the best thing for everybody. Communicate with your family and friends, not only where you're going, when you're coming back, what way you're going, but reminders. I have a young daughter. She probably is sick of me preaching to her, but you know what? She needs to stay safe. She's my little princess. I want her to stay safe. So you just have to communicate. You can't act like you trust everybody, and not everybody is a nice person. So communicate, pay attention, and be aware. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Bob Kalinowski. I'm here to talk to you a little today about pepper spray, just another way to help stay safe. Some of my background, I retired almost 2 years ago from the Vermont State Police as a lieutenant. Had almost 26 years on the department. Part of my career, early on, I spent almost 9 years teaching new police officers and even seasoned police officers how to stay safe. I was certified as a defensive tactics instructor. I'm here to talk a little about pepper spray and its use. We spoke earlier about how important awareness is, paying attention to your surroundings. I think one of the most important things is staying out of a physical confrontation. That's what you want to avoid on all costs. That's where pepper spray comes in. Mace pepper spray, I think, is one of the best options that you can have out there. This is pretty safe, it's pretty easy, it's non-lethal. The big part, and you might hear me say this a couple times, it has to be available to you. That's really important. You're out walking, you're out jogging, you're out riding your bike. How's this going to help you if it's in a pocket or your pocketbook at home? It's not going to, is it? As you can see, I'm holding one of the canisters right now. Most people get containers like this because it's convenient. There's a little keychain on here. There are types of containers with a strap that while you're jogging, you can have it handy, right in your hand. Okay, there's canisters out there with a belt clip, so you can just have it right on your belt. At least it's handy then. I'd prefer it in your hand. If you're gonna carry pepper spray, why not have it right in your hand? It needs to be available. As you can see in that picture, maybe you can see right up here. What I like to do, if I'm teaching somebody how to use pepper spray, they're gonna get in their stance. If you have time, it might be a quick confrontation. You might be walking in your car, somebody comes after you quick and you feel threatened, you feel scared, you feel like that there's gonna be harm coming to you, so you got a right to use this. So you're in your stance. Mace Brand has a nice handy safety cap. There's no fiddling with it. Either your thumb or your index finger. Just like that big picture and what I'm doing up here. It goes right there. The button is right underneath. So when you have your pepper spray in a strategic place at home, you know in the dark, there's no unscrewing a cap or anything. Your finger's right in, you can deploy it. You have your stance, you can have your hand up, and you're spraying with what I call your strong hand. Everybody has a strong hand, weak hand. Usually the hand you're right with, you might be stronger. Okay, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it if I was teaching you how to use it. Either one. Remember, you want to stay balanced, because what the idea is, if somebody confronts you and you are going to deploy it, you're going to spray facial area, maybe a 2-second burst, and then you're going to move. Okay? And while you're moving, hopefully you're moving toward that safe exit. If you can't, you want to try to create distance, you might have to spray again or do something else to help you get out of there. That's it, really. Keep your balance. Thumb or forefinger right in there, stay balanced. You're going to spray. What else might you be doing while you're spraying? How about hollering, no, stop, leave me alone, something to that effect. Okay, then maybe somebody, maybe a neighbor, maybe somebody in the parking lot, maybe somebody else can hear you. You're drawing attention to yourself, you're drawing attention to the bad person that's trying to harm you, and maybe somebody will come to your aid. I've been sprayed a lot by a lot of different kinds. It's nasty. It causes an involuntary closing of the eyes. You can't really control it. Your eyes close. Best way to describe it is hot burning sand. Think about how that feels. I don't know if anybody's had dust and sand blown in your eyes. It's uncomfortable. Think about that being really hot. So you get it in your mouth, makes you cough, you're choking, feels like you can't breathe. You might be getting it in your nostrils, so it can be effective. If you were to spray this, you get any on you, cold water, fresh air, it's going to take care of it. The effects are going to be 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how much fresh air and how quick you can get to the cold water, how much you got on. Okay, remember, goal-oriented people, some of them have a lot of drive, maybe drugs and alcohol is involved, so their pain tolerance might be a little higher than normal, and they really want to harm you. So just remember that when you spray them, they might not drop right down and give up. This can be an advantage for you too, though. At this point, if you get into a situation where somebody's confronting you and trying to harm you, you should be goal-oriented too, right? What's the goal? To get out of there and get home safely, right? Okay, that's important. So remember that. This is a good option. This can help you stay out of trouble, okay? But I want to show you a couple techniques if all else fails, where if there is an actual physical confrontation, a couple basic techniques. And remember, these techniques aren't going to work on everybody all the time. A lot of things come into play. But I think that there are a couple tools you can throw in your toolbox. You can go home and practice a little, and you can have them available. At very least, it'll make you start thinking. And at very least, it's going to start make you thinking about, okay, I'm not going to freeze. I'm going to react. I'm going to do something because I'm going to get out of the situation safely and get home safely. So I want to call on my daughter, Whitney. She's going to help me demonstrate a couple techniques to you, okay? So, first things, if it's coming right down to a physical confrontation, some things to remember. Balance and posture. We spoke earlier about looking confident. Now, if Whitney just stands there with her shoulders droop, standing with her hands down, her feet square, she look very confident? To me, she doesn't. Let's improve on that. We don't want to make Whitney look threatening, but we want to make her look a little more confident. You can do that with your posture and your stance. So she's going to get into a better posture and stance. Whitney looks a little more confident now. Her shoulders are up, her hands are up. She's not making a fist, getting ready to pop somebody, but her hands are up, ready to defend herself, hopefully. You notice what she did with her feet and her legs. She's got one leg back, she's got one leg forward. Now, if I started circling Whitney, I'm hoping that Whitney, she's doing it, okay? She's facing me. She's not just turning and crossing her legs or her feet. She's facing me. I'm her opponent now. I'm a possible attacker. She needs to face me. She's got the strong leg. Her hands are up. I go to grab Whitney. That's what I want to happen. That's what you folks should be doing. Nobody has a right to put their hands on you. Nobody, okay? I go to grab Whitney. That's what should happen. She should be slapping me. What else should she be doing? Maybe telling me no, hollering to leave her alone, okay?
Stop.
Okay? That's the way it should be. Her feet are apart, knees are bent. Knees are bent, why? Well, before you do anything, if you're standing there with your knees straight and locked, your legs straight and locked, what has to happen before you can move? Your knees have to bend. So her knees are bent. Pretty good stance, okay? So come over here, please. You can face the audience. What weapons does she have on her body that she might be able to use to fend off an attacker? Let's start at the top. She's got her forehead. Well, she can headbutt. I've had my nose broke from being headbutted. It works, okay? That's one of the hardest bones of your body. She has that on the back of her head, almost where her ponytail is coming out, the back of her head. Her shoulders can be used as a weapon. We'll demonstrate that in a little while. Both shoulders. Back of the elbow. Try not to hit somebody. If you ever go practice on a punching bag, try to practice. You want to hit with the meat part of the elbow. Targets for that could be face, stomach, groin, okay? Now, moving down the arm, we have the forearm. We'll show you in a technique after where Whitney is going to break away. Go ahead and break away slow. And she could come back and smash me in the face, throat, groin. She might miss me with the back of her fist. You could catch somebody with a forearm, okay? That's another weapon. Now we'll go to the hand. She's making a fist right now. Whitney's been taught a little how to punch, which I don't have a problem with if she punches. A lot of people don't get trained properly on how to punch. You can injure yourself. So while she's got a fist, how about the back of her fist right there? She could hammer fist me in the nose. She can hammer fist me in the pit of the stomach. She can hammer fist me in the groin. That's a very good weapon to use. Now, the front of her hand, instead of making a fist, what I'd recommend, she's going to open her hand right up. Okay? The palm of her hand. It's a good solid part. Now, if Whitney holds her arm right straight out, you look at the straight line from the palm right through her arm to her shoulder. It's pretty rigid. If she makes a fist, a lot of flexibility right here, isn't there? Okay? There's a potential for injury. She's a small girl So, and you'll be surprised. You get home, have a loved one or somebody hold on to a bed pillow, and you just try and strike with the palm. You'll be surprised the power and energy you can get from that. Okay, and then she's going to make a fist again. So you got the front of the fist, back of the fist. And again, depending on what side, you have that hammer fist to the face, throat, stomach, groin. Okay, so there's quite a few weapons so far, right? All right. Now, the thigh, if she ever was able to pull an attacker off balance, or if they were on the ground, he's on the ground for some reason, she's got a hold of his hair, she can use her thigh right to the face area. There's a lot of damage right there that could be done. At least a distraction, at very least a distraction. It's better than doing nothing. And the more tools you can throw in that toolbox for you to think about, God forbid you're put in a situation like that, the better off you could be. So, then there's the knee, maybe the shin, and she's got her feet. And I don't condone, unless you really have a lot of practice going to martial arts, or if you really train all the time, forget the high flying kicks like you see on TV. From the waist down is plenty. You got enough targets. You got the groin, you got the knee, a kick to the knee, right straight on or to the side. I have big, strong legs. What is in front of my shin bone to protect my shin bone? Nothing. It's kind of vulnerable. She has the side of her foot. Demonstrate. She's got the side of her foot. Either she can kick or she can rake the front of my leg right down. That might not knock me down or disable me, but it might distract me, or it might make me back away a little so she can what? She can go and make a safe exit. We showed you when Whitney gets in her stance that nobody should be touching you. Okay, she's going to slap me away. She's going to slap me away. Okay, that's ideally. If Whitney's not paying attention and I'm able to grab her arm, how does she want to get out of this? Okay, what's the weakest part of my hand? Look at my fingers, the thumb, okay? And that's right. She wants to use that to her advantage, and she wants to do it quickly before I get a good tight grip. So if I go to grab Whitney, she wants to go against my thumb. So she starts loading her body that way. Now she's going to come backwards. And again, folks, we're showing you in slow motion, but this has got to be done like that. Okay, go ahead. And then she unloads her body. I want you to show them again in slow motion. I want you to watch Whitney from her ankle right up. She's using her whole body. She's tiny. She doesn't have a lot of strength, so she's using her entire body for leverage. Okay, she's going to load up, okay, quickly, and then she's going to unload against my thumb. Now, look at her body. She's loaded again, isn't she? What can she do? If she can't run that way to a safe exit, what can she do? Okay, she can come back, right. And depending on how close I am to her, go ahead, slow. She's got her forearm, she's got her hammer fist, she's got the elbow. She can follow up with a palm heel strike as well. So those are options. And that works either way. Okay, now I'm going to grab, she's got to go against my thumb. One important thing, if you practice this, and I suggest you do, what she's going to do is she's twisting her arm as she goes out that way. There's something about the ulna bone where once you start twisting, it really helps break the grip. Okay? It's got to be done quickly. So, and that works on both sides. Okay? I got one hand, she's got to go against my thumb. She knows automatically she has to go against my thumb. I grab her opposite, it doesn't matter. She has to go against my thumb. That's the important part of that technique. All right. So, I go to grab Whitney, something doesn't happen, and I grab her again with a second hand. What does she do? Okay, she starts pulling away. You notice how she dropped her center of gravity. She's getting balanced. She wants to be comfortable. Okay, she doesn't care if I'm balanced or not. So all she does is grab right over the top with one hand, grabs her other hand, and pulls out. We'll show you again. I got her with two hands. She's going over the top. She's pulling away. See how she's loaded? Okay, what's she going to do? If she doesn't have a safe exit, she's got to do a follow-up really quick. And that could be an elbow if I come in on her, or if I stay out on her, she's going to have to unload, smash my face with a hammer fist, stomach, palm heel strike, maybe even a quick kick to my knee or my shin. And that would enable her, hopefully, to get to that exit. So then, maybe I don't grab her arm. I just grab her shoulder. What we're going to do, you see how Whitney is taking her arm? It's okay if you just fling off quick. Ideally, in a good setting, you'd want her to bring up her arm. See, there's a lot more surface area now for her to hit this arm. She's got less chance to miss my arm to knock it off her shoulder. Okay, she loaded, she went, and she's got follow-up strikes that she can do. We'll do it again in slow motion. Okay, go ahead. She's loading her body. She can come right back again with a palm heel strike, or go ahead, that hammer fist. It's got to be quick. It's got to be quick. And we can do that either side. Turn around. Just turn around. Same thing. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Okay. She's flinging my arm off for a split second. She's loaded. She has this arm up to maybe protect herself if I go to grab her again. But this is going to be quick. It has to be quick. And she's going to do another follow-up strike. Okay? Here. Now, I'm grabbing Whitney. We're face to face. I got her. And I'm going to start pulling her to the parking lot, another part of the parking lot, dark set of bushes somewhere. I've got her. I'm pulling her toward me. She's pulling away. She's pulling. I'm pulling, trying to drag her. Now, all of a sudden, she's going to use my momentum because I'm pulling this way. Go ahead. All of a sudden, we're doing it in slower motion, but all of a sudden, she's using my momentum. She's coming with me to push me away. And there's another option. I grab her, and she's going to just take both hands. Go ahead, slow motion. Right up, both palms toward my chin area. It can be my eyebrows, the bones right above my eyes. Could be the chin. Doesn't matter. She's going to come right up with force and come right into me. Most of the time, the attacker is not going to expect the victim to be the aggressor. Most cases. Most cases, from interviews I've read, videos I've seen, most of the time, if the attacker gets a lot of resistance, again, people, not all the time, but a lot of times, they're going to disengage because they don't want it to go on and on. She might not knock me over, but she can daze or make me confused just for a couple seconds, knock me off balance a little. So what? She can make that safe exit. That's important. Hopefully nobody gets you in this situation. Hopefully you had your Mace pepper spray ready and available to help avoid these situations to begin with, okay? You were paying attention. These are last resort techniques, really need to be practiced. I'm gonna have the face on, bear hug, her arms are trapped. Now remember earlier I talked about her shoulder being maybe a possible weapon on her body. Okay, she's got her head, she might be able to headbutt me. What if she comes upward really, really hard with her shoulder? Well, I'm right here. What can happen? You know, that's, again, it may not knock me out, but it could cause enough pain for a couple seconds where I might loosen up, okay? So she's got that. Her hands are still free. Even though I got her arms trapped, I have her arms trapped, but still, her hands are free. Quick little pinch. She's got my groin. Again, people, this is a bad situation. There aren't any rules right now. You have to win this. You've committed 100% to fighting back. You have to win this. She's got her knee to go in my groin. Okay, she's got these little punches. She can pinch. She can grab, twist, punch the groin. She's got these options. You don't want to keep wrestling so it ends up on the ground. It's a little better if I give her a bear hug and I didn't get her hands trapped. Okay, now she's got, we showed you earlier about the palms and the head. That's one option. She's got my ears. She can grab right a hold of my ears. If I have long hair, she's got hair. Think about having your hair pulled. She might not be able to throw me right off her, but it could help me lose my balance a little, back up a little, or just maybe loosen up a hair. She can follow up with a knee or a quick shot to the groin, stomach, palm heel strikes, just enough to loosen me up to get out. That was with her hands free. Now, if I have her trapped, both arms, see her naturally trying to get a lower center of gravity, that's for her balance. And I'm glad to see that she's doing that without me telling her. That's a good thing. So I have her trapped. What's most people gonna think? If you put somebody in a bear hug, you're not gonna think that they're gonna try to make themselves small, are you? You're gonna think they're gonna try to get bigger and break your grip. Most of the time, that's what's gonna happen. So initially, if she can't break out or headbutt me or do anything else, see now she's trying her best to break my grip, make herself bigger. Everybody's body size is different. She's getting low. She's got a good lower center of gravity. And then all of a sudden, what she could try is, after she tried making herself big, get small and maybe slip out, maybe. Not everybody's gonna be able to do that because of body styles, body size, physical limitations, height, everything comes into play. So if I have her trapped with arms and she can't do that, what else does she have to do? Again, she has to go back to the headbutting. She has to, okay, no. Those little pinches, okay, she's got her hands free, she's got headbutting, she's gonna be twisting and turning. She has to be doing something, okay? She's got her foot stomps, she's got her heel that she can maybe start kicking my shins, stomping on my feet, all kinds of things, okay? But she's gotta be doing something. That's the most important thing. Let me back up a little. Whitney's not doing a very good job hollering at me, telling me no, telling me to stop. In a fight or anything you do, it's really, really important to keep breathing or you're gonna get tired quicker. Everybody watches TV or movies. You see the martial artists, they're yelling and screaming sometime when they go to a technique. Boxers, you hear air coming out of their noses all the time when they're fighting. That's important. If you're not breathing, you're not as strong, you can't move as quick. You need to breathe. So I like to think that any one of you, and Whitney should be doing it even for demonstration purposes, at least hollering, telling me no. Even if there aren't any neighbors or witnesses around, it's going to help her breathe. She's not going to be getting tunnel vision. She's not going to clam up and freeze. If she's not breathing, she can't move as quick. You need to be able to breathe. So, headlocks, chokes, you got to protect your air. You have to keep breathing. So the first thing, if I end up getting Whitney in a headlock, first thing she's doing, and you can, let's turn this way. So, the first thing she's doing is I'm trying to squeeze. She turned her chin into my arm. That's helping protect. She's tucking her chin right down because that way it's not as easy for me to get my arm under her chin and choke her out. I still might be able to, but she has to be able to protect. See, she's got her chin tucked really good into my arm. You have to protect your air. And it doesn't matter. She can turn this way. She can turn it, work it, and turn it so her chin is right into my stomach or my chest. So I really would have to fight now to choke her out quick. What else she's doing at the same time? She's getting comfortable. She's getting balanced. She took her left foot because she's working on her center of gravity and balance. She takes her left leg, puts it behind mine. She's got this left arm. Now what she wants to try to do is stand up because she's in a good position and I'm not. Now I know what's coming and you might notice or you'll probably see me let go a little ahead of time. Go ahead and stand up. Okay, that's why. Because there's no way I can keep a hold of her and stand up because I'm going to fall backwards. I have to let her go. Something happens where I still have a hold of her and we're struggling around. Remember, then you still got your elbows, you still have your hammer fists, you still have groin grabs, pinches, elbows to the stomach, to the face. Those are good targets. Eyes, nose, face, ears, throat, stomach, groin, shins, feet. To close, these techniques, they can work. They're not going to work on everybody all the time. There are different tools and techniques that you can just try to keep in the back of your mind. I suggest that you practice them The biggest thing is that, to sum it up, you have to pay attention and be aware of your surroundings to even avoid getting into one of these confrontations. When you commit to fighting back, when you're committing to surviving any confrontation like this, it's 100%. Because why? Because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to everybody else that loves you. You need to get home safe, okay? Now, I know this is a part she's waiting for. We have a little can. Just to show briefly, Whitney's going to stand right about here. Okay, you're going to use that one. Okay. That's inert ingredients. It's fake. It's just water coming out of there. Okay, now Whitney's in her good posture, her good stance. As far as aiming, she's going to either use her index finger or her thumb. She's probably going to choose her index finger. She's looking right over her finger. She's going to aim toward my facial area. And as I start to approach her, simulating an aggressor, she's going to spray 1.5, 2 seconds into my face. And this is going to be her spraying.
Stop, get away.
All right, that's beautiful. Now, I have pepper spray on me. You can come back over here. Thank you, and good job. I have pepper spray on me. She sprayed. She had a good posture, good balance, and she got away. She's telling me no. She's telling me to stop. That's all good stuff. And she got away. So now, what's she going to do? She has to go home and call the police and report it. Hopefully she's paying attention. She got good identification. She can tell the police what I look like. I got sprayed. That could help. So, to sum things up, visualize. When you're out and about, you're visualizing. You're doing what ifs, okay? An attacker, an aggressor, they confront you. What if? What do I do? You're visualizing that situation, okay, while you're moving around. You have to do something, okay? You have to react. We showed you some self-defense techniques. We talked about the mace pepper spray. It's a good option. If you're paying attention to your surroundings, if you're aware of what's going on, if you're carrying your pepper spray in your hand and have it readily available, maybe a physical confrontation won't happen in the first place. Okay? I want to thank you all for coming. You've been a good audience, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.